Hey soul family, welcome back to the channel. This is the White Feather Tarot, and in today's reading we're doing how can you view your situation differently, and is this going to have an effect on how you act and change your life and the situation at whole. So to do this very interesting reading, we will be picking out 3 cards together. So 1, 2, and 3. Let's check and see what they are. So for pile number 1, we have Mercury. For pile number 2, we have the South Node. And for pile number 3, we have the Yin energy. If you like to pick with crystals, let me add these in just a second. There we go. So for pile number 1, we have the beautiful rose quartz. And this is what it looks like. For pile number 2, we have the cherry quartz, and this is what it looks like. For pile number 3, we have the beautiful garnet, and this is what it looks like. All right. So take a look at which one of these 3 piles or 3 stones you're the most drawn to. And that's probably the pile for you here today. I will always say it, if you feel drawn to more than one pile, trust your intuition because it will always guide you to the right readings. And as usual, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box. Click on your times and I'll see you in your readings. Hey soul family, if you love the card picking process and the shuffling, I left this section specifically for you. I personally enjoy it very much and I'm happy to be sharing it with you. All right. Also, if you're interested in any of the decks that I use, you want to know its name or any information about it, I always leave a link and the name of these decks in the description box for you to check them out whenever you want. Okay, so let's use the first oracle deck that we will be using for this reading, other than the one we picked. I feel this one, I'm going to take it. Other than the one we've already picked. Oh, this one as well. Wow, these are popping and ready. And pile 3 is 2. Wow, okay. Right, so we have pile number 3 ready. Let's take on the next deck that we'll be using for this reading and shuffle with intention. We want to kindly know, how can they view their situation differently, please? How can the 3 piles view their situation differently? I feel like it's ready. So 1, 2, and 3. All right, let's move on to our next deck. Oh, there we go. And shuffle with intention. How can the 3 piles view their situation differently, please? How can they view their situation differently? So 1, 2, and 3. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to our next deck, which is going to be our our tarot cards. We'll be taking 3 from this deck. Oh, this one's ready. Okay. How can the 3 piles view their situation differently, please? How can they view it differently in a way that would exponentially improve their lives and the situation at whole? Thank you. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. Right. Let's now pick 2 cards from this deck. How can the 3 piles view their situation differently, please? How can the 3 piles view their situation differently, please? How can the 3 piles view their situation differently, please? Thank you. So 1, 1, and 1, 2, 2, and 2. All right, so our 3 piles for today are ready. All we need to do is to pile them up neatly, 1 by 1. Let's pick out the first pile. All right, that was easy. So first pile is ready. Let's keep it here, as well as the rose quartz. There we go. Pile number 2. There we go. Pile number 2 is also ready. Let's add the cherry quartz. There we go. And pile number 3. Is also surprisingly ready pretty quickly. Okay. Let's add this in and add our beautiful garnet. All right. So our 3 piles for today's reading are ready. It was such a pleasure sharing this time with you, and let's get into your reading. Hi, pile number 1. So you have chosen the beautiful rose quartz as well as the Mercury card. Now let's take a look at the rest of your cards and see how you can view your situation differently. My dear pile number 1, let's see what your cards have. So this is your oracle card. Okay. Let's keep it here. Yeah, there we go. Also, you have the bridge. All right. And you have changes. And you have the spiral, bringing in life force or pushing out life force. We'll talk about that in a second, but let's check out the rest of your cards. So you have the Six of Swords. You have the Nine of Swords. You have the Ten of Wands. The Two of Cups. And the Seven of Pentacles. It seems here in your reading, pile number 1, that you are in a situation at the moment where you are facing some sort of fear resulting from something that happened in the very past. Your mind has probably registered it as scary, and so there are so many triggers that happened. We'll view this room as your subconscious mind. And so we've opened up a room where it feels scary to you. Pile number 1. In fact, healing this actually will help you transcend and grow mentally and spiritually to become a much stronger person. And like I said from the very beginning, you do have with changes here, changing this can change so many aspects in your life. And with the spiral, it's a symbol of life force, and depending on which way it turns, it's either bringing in life force or pushing out life force. And I feel like this is exactly the situation. Depending on how you deal with the situation, you'll either be feeling worse, or you will be feeling exponentially better, pushing these triggers out. And in order to do that, to heal these triggers and to push them out of your life, I see Mercury here as your main card. And Mercury is all about communication. With the rose quartz, I'm seeing communicating kindly with yourself about the situation, bringing awareness to yourself that this is an old wound or an old fear or a situation poking, a situation poking at something that happened a very long time, perhaps when you were little, and that it's not really as scary as one would think. When we are in the middle of experiencing something, pile number 1, and a trigger and a fear happens, we get all these ideas that we're stuck, that we can't get out of it, and we sometimes, actually a lot of the times, when we are worried, we tend to exaggerate the situation and feel like we're helpless, like we can't do anything. And so I feel here that it's all about the way you speak to yourself. When you notice yourself feeling like it's bigger than you, that you cannot get out of it, that it's much stronger and more in control of you, that you'll fail again when you do it, that this or that. It's all going to depend on the way you speak to yourself at that point, on how you teach yourself to calm down these worries That's what we see with the Six of Swords and the Nine of Swords. To gently and slowly handle this anxiety that is burdening you. To understand that it is this point. This is the critical point where you will retrain your brain to regain strength and to think in a much stronger way to heal this old wound. Realize that when you're afraid and angry and feelings are fired up and it's out of control, just like the Nine of Swords shows us here, tranquility. The Nine of Swords is during the stress holding the threads of all of the things that are triggering her in the palm of her hands. It's all under control. It is at that point where one needs to say, okay, first of all, I really need to calm down. I really need to breathe and not think from a place of anger and frustration and fear and devastation. I need to calm my emotions down, not allow triggers to ever take control of me, and to slowly push these triggers out. This way you'll put things into perspective, into its right place. And it's all going to depend on how you talk to yourself. Never say, I can't do it. It's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to handle this. Know that this is coming from a place of pain and fear, childhood pain. Don't believe it and don't resign to it. Let yourself calm down so that you're not carrying all these emotions as you think about it and as you go through life and as you go through the situation itself. First, you need to take control of you before you take control of the outside life. I feel like in this pile it has to do with communication with others, perhaps with the Two of Cups, with of course Mercury, and the two hands reaching out for bridging. And so I really see your advice here is to not allow yourself to be triggered. It's okay to experience it and to slowly notice it and then remind yourself, no, I'm now retraining my brain and I'm a much stronger person and I will not allow myself to be triggered anymore. I'm not allowing triggers. This way, when you don't give reactions to people, you're in control of the situation. When you don't give reactions to the things that are happening, not just to people, you are also in control of the situation. Because a lot of the times when we're dealing with people who are also burdened, they're waiting to get reactions from us, to feel more powerful and in control of the communication. And so being calm doesn't allow people to take your power from you. And also within situations, being calm allows you to take hold of the situation and to think about it from a more rational place and not from a triggered place. Pile number 1. And you will see great results from changing your inside first before the outside. It will reciprocate as within as without. You will see a great effect on the outside as you take control of you, my dear pile number 1. And through that process with the 7 of Pentacles, you'll be growing new muscles. You'll be growing new neurological pathways that help you react differently in the future. And the more you build that muscle, the more you change pathways, neurological pathways in the way you think and the more you behave differently in the future. Wow, I love your message, pile number 1. I'm going to pick out your tarot cards and get more information about how you can go about this process, how you can speak to yourself, what you need to do exactly. So can we kindly get more information, please, about what pile number 1 needs to do to view this situation differently, and what pile number 1 needs to do in terms of steps to change the way they feel about it and respond to it, please. Thank you. I see here, I don't know if I told you, but changing this situation will really help you transcend into someone who can handle any type of situations like that very well. So you have 2, 3, 4, and I feel this one, and wow, and this one. Okay, so these are 2 extra cards. I'm gonna put them here for now. And let's take a look at your cards, pile number 1. So, wow, you have the Emperor right next to Life Force. Wow. You have the Muse of Materials, which is the King of Pentacles. You have the 10 of Swords. Yeah, okay. 10 of Swords right under the 10 of Wands. Wow. You have, wow, the Sun right under the 2 of Cups. You have the 6 of Pentacles. What a beautiful card. The 6 of Pentacles. And you have again the Muse of Inspiration, which is the King of Wands. So we see the King of Pentacles with the King of Wands. Look at pile number 1 with the 10 of Swords here and the 10 of Wands. I'm seeing an end of a cycle, which is really reminding me of training. Do you see how many swords are going down, 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 and this person leveling up, up, up? So I'm seeing that it's a process that needs training, and so use this situation to continue to train, because as you train, you gain power. And you see how many powerful archetypes are here in your reading. You have the Emperor, the King of Pentacles, which is all about stability. The King of Wands, which is all about confidence and strength. My goodness. Along with the Emperor, such powerful cards. And I see that this training process will turn you into a much stronger, stable personality than you already are. It's kind of like your weak point, and training it will close this door. No more weaknesses that trigger you, which is wonderful, pile number 1. And this is why you have the 6 of Pentacles and the Sun, showing us that you will really shine here. And again, it shows the 6 of Pentacles is kind of reciprocative energy, as the 2 of Cups suggests. It shows that you will be seeing results straight away on the outside as you work your way and improve on the inside, pile number 1. You will be taking back the fruits of the efforts that you've put in internally. In the beginning, you're working internally, and sometimes you will not see the results straight away, but a lot of work is being done on the inside. You training yourself, being tranquil, just like a seed when you plant it. Before you can see it on the ground level, there's so much going on the inside. And so in the beginning, you're doing the groundwork, the most important part of the work. You may not see results straight away, but you're doing the important part of this work. And little by little, you'll see that the efforts you're putting in to calm yourself down are having great effects on the outside, where the communication that you're having with other people are starting to balance out with the Six of Pentacles and the Two of Cups, where nobody's taking your power because you're training yourself to be calm and not be triggered. Also within situations, you'll realize that you're able to handle them pretty well and with strength. They're not taking away your time anymore because you're consumed with it. You're not feeling helpless. You're not feeling like there's nothing that you can do. You're not experiencing this anger because now you've learned to accept and stay calm and to think, okay, just like a boss here, what am I going to do about this situation? And quietly and calmly, you'll feel that you have things under control and that you're taking yourself out of the situation in a smooth and calm way, my dear pile number 1. So this is exactly what I see in your reading. I wish you all the best of luck with your situation. May you flourish, just like the Six of Cups shows here. My dear pile number 1, it was such a pleasure doing this reading for you. And if you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Don't forget to click on your notification bell. And please, don't forget to check out my productivity book. You might be interested in it because it's small, straight to the point, but it has all the key advice and secrets to becoming a productive person right away, all while enjoying the process. And so if you're interested in that, you'll find a link to this ebook down in the description box. And pile number 1, it was such a pleasure, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 2. So you have chosen the beautiful cherry quartz as well as the south node. Okay, so let's take a look at your cards and see exactly how you can view your situation differently. So this is your first oracle card. This is how it looks like. Okay. And how about we push this a little bit here? Yeah, that's better. You also have a struggle. All right. You have the healer. How interesting. I want to take this here and put this up there. Yeah, that's much better. All right. Okay. Right. So let's now take a look at your tarot cards. You have the Hermit. You have the Ten of Cups. Wow. You have the Sun. You have the Five of Cups. And you have the Tower. Yes, I really see. So pile number 2. what I'm seeing first of all, of course, with the South Node destined to release, with the South Node is what your soul is moving away from in this lifetime. I see you being in quite a challenging situation with the struggle here, and especially this oracle card. It's like you're in a maze that you're stuck in and you're not sure how you can get out of it. It is certainly a situation that could make you feel very alone in life. Now, the situation from the outside is quite different from what you need to heal on the inside. So, for example, you could be in a situation that is related to work or related to certain problems that you have in life. But if you look closer, you will realize that the root cause of these problems is perhaps you feeling alone and afraid. And had you not been so hindered with these feelings, you would have been able to handle all of these situations in a much different way. You would have had other solutions that you dare not consider at the moment. Things like, why don't I just take my own place and be alone? Or, and leave this person or leave these people. Why don't I look for another company? Why don't I do this? Why don't I do that? And I feel like here, there's some certain root cause to all of this situation that is taking you away from your ultimate happiness and bright life. And as I'm saying that, my eyes caught the attention of l'impossible, which is impossible. So I'm kind of hearing you say, but no, it's impossible for me to heal this. This is impossible for me to heal this. And this is the loop that you are maybe putting yourself in without realizing, my dear pile number 2. And this is the loop that we all put ourselves in when it comes to our South Node, by the way. And so with the South Node, there are questions that you can ask yourself to figure out what this is. Is it fear of being alone? Is it fear of things breaking down? Is it fear of loss? And if you want to know what the root cause is, you can maybe ask yourself questions like, what wound haunts you? Or what type of problem or challenge keeps repeating itself? What is life trying to teach you? And have you listened? What is it that you need to release? And just answer the questions without thinking of whether it's possible or not first. Identify it first. Identify this fear. It will show you where you may be struggling. Where you may be keeping yourself alone or isolating yourself. When you can be open and experiencing happiness here. It's what you need to release in this lifetime. in order to get your ultimate happiness. And so the way to view your situation differently here is to not think about your fears, but to start healing them, identifying them, and not being afraid to dare to think of different ways of doing things out of fear of loss. I'm going to pick out your tarot cards and ask what you need to do exactly to heal that situation. My dear pile number 2, what do you need to do to start healing this root cause that has been keeping you struggling for a very long time, and one that you finally need to release? With 11, this is your spiritual path. This is going along consistent. The messages are consistent. And on the other hand, you can be experiencing ultimate happiness with the Sun and the 10 of Cups here. As soon as you realize, release your fears of loss, your fears of isolation, your fears of being scared and shocked. I'm going to take out your tarot cards and see exactly what are the steps needed for you to take to do this, now that we've seen the situation here differently. How can it be applied now? How can pile number 2 apply their situation differently, please? How can they apply this advice and release their South Node, please? Release this struggle forever. How can they do that? Thank you. Oh, okay. This one and these two. I'm sorry, I just gotta take them. I've got to take them. They wanted to come out. Okay. So, pile number 2, you have the 3 of Wands, just like a domino effect. You work on that and you will feel that everything around you is changing. Everything is like that root cause that is affecting everything else. Okay? So that's the first observation, but we're still taking a look at the steps that you need to take. So you have the 4 of Swords. Let me adjust that. There we go. You have the 4 of Swords. You have Strength. Okay. You have the 2 of Swords. Right. Okay. And you have the Muse of Voices, which is the King of Swords. Let me keep it here. Let's see these 2 cards. You have the 9 of Inspiration, which is the 9 of Wands. Okay, this is becoming pretty clear. And last but not least, ooh, what? The same thing happened in pile number 1. If you were drawn to pile 1 and pile 2, because it had the pile had the 2 muses on top of each other. Unbelievable. Okay. And also you might want to check pile number 1 if you feel called to it. So you have the Muse of Inspiration, which is the King of Wands. So you have the King of Swords and the King of Wands. You'll be surprised too if you watch pile number 1. And if you're coming from pile number 2, you know, right? Okay. So what I'm seeing here as your steps. What I'm seeing here with the 3 of Wands is to start taking steps towards the things that are making you afraid. Don't go boldly all the way from the beginning, but to dare to take some steps towards the things that are making you afraid. For example, if you are afraid of being alone, then start taking steps of spending more time alone and letting that sink in. Training yourself little by little to regain back this strength and heal it. You'll find that this training will give you so much confidence and power. I see here a message of the 2 of Swords of you can either go backward or recluse. You can either go forward or not recluse. What's the word called when you go back again? Relapse. And so this needs a constant training, especially in the beginning, until you get the hang out of it and regain back your strength. To not be afraid and to not think that it's impossible. To dip your toes in the water and to give yourself the chance to... Actually, this person is not dipping their toes. They're all in. But with the 3 of Wands, to little by little, give yourself the chance to sink in or soak in the things that you are afraid to do. So the first time you can soak in for a minute. The next time you can increase that a little bit for 3 minutes, and so on. To train yourself to do the things that you are afraid of, even if it's for a little while. Make it a task every day to do one little thing in terms of the thing that you are afraid of, that you consider impossible. And you will see that this will give you strength. Pile number 2. Just train yourself every day to do it. Be adamant about it. Because if you do train yourself, you'll see that your whole life will change. Not just this specific situation. You're going to experience a lot of happiness. And so take it little by little and make sure that as you train, you don't relapse, because sometimes it is so easy to go back to that comfort blanket and enjoy the comfort of safety. But always remember that with the comfort of safety comes the challenging situation that you're having your reading about. And the only way to gain your strength and move away from what you are destined to release is to be bold and train yourself every day. You don't have to spend the whole day in the beginning doing what is not comfortable to you. But you have to give, if you want, a little time to train yourself to do exactly what you're afraid of. Little by little, in a comfortable way, until you build that muscle and feel like, I can do that. Do it safely, little by little. Don't jump right into it with the 3 of Wands is taking it slowly and then scare yourself or traumatize yourself. No. Do it little by little, but make sure that you do put yourself in the situation. It could be in the most comfortable way in the beginning, and then little by little being bolder and bolder until you gain your confidence. Just make sure you don't relapse, because you can take strong steps and then one little step of comfort back can take all the efforts you've been doing. But remember, this is your South Node and this is what you want to heal. This is what will make you will take you away from what you are currently suffering. So remember, don't go back to this safety blanket and go back to training yourself, even if it's not the whole time, because it is this training that will build the muscle and release you and free you from all this anguish, all this pain, all the fears, perhaps even all the loneliness, or all the feeling of being stuck in a situation. Again, you have the King of Swords and the King of Inspiration. I can't help but feel like you will feel confident. The King of Swords is someone who's not afraid to say the truth, has gained a lot of wisdom in how to say the truth, how to speak with clarity, how to speak one's own mind. And the King of Wands is someone who's confident, who shines, who's not afraid to show their light, but also quite balanced, where they're not there to outshine or bring anyone down. They're there to shine. So there's a lot of shining and speaking and being you that I'm seeing with your kings and the Nine of Wands. There's a lot of personal power to be gained from this little by little training that you can do, and never relapsing back the progress that you've done. Little by little, pile number 2. Little, it's one of my favorite quotes. It does everything. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. And we are creatures of habits, and we can create any new habit we want, that we ever want, by training ourselves little by little to do it every day. We change who we are at the core by sticking to the habits and the decisions that we've made. And if you hear background noise, this is my dog sleeping. Apologies. So little by little, you create habits that make you stronger, and you finally release your South Node, my dear pile number 2. So pile number 2, that was your reading. I wish you all the best of luck from my heart. And I'm rooting for you, and I know you are going to do this, my dear pile number 2. So pile number 2, that was your reading. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Don't forget to click on your notification bell. And please don't forget to check out my productivity book. It's small, straight to the point, and so you won't procrastinate on reading it. But it has all the key advice and secrets to becoming a productive person right away, all while enjoying the process. It's such a resourceful book. I hope you enjoy it. And if you are interested, you'll find the link to this ebook down in the description box. And pile number 2, it was such a pleasure doing this reading, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. So you have chosen the beautiful Garnet as well as the Yin energy. Interesting. Let's take a look first at the rest of your cards and see how you can view your situation differently. So, this is the first oracle card that you have. Let me adjust that. There we go. And in your pile, during the shuffling process, you got 2 of these cards. Oh my God, this is uncanny. So you have the Yin, which is all about the underworld, the unconscious mind, the subterranean. And then you have the underworld here. We're getting a very coherent message. Okay. And you have the prayer. By the way, if you're hearing background noises, this is my dog sleeping. I apologize for that. I have to keep him next to me. So you also have teaching. All right. And you have the Tower. You have the Page of Cups. You have Judgment. And, the Three of Cups. And you have the Emperor landing right under the Tower. Interesting. So, of course, first and foremost, we see that there is something hidden in this situation. There's something that you are not seeing, but it's causing destruction on the outside, one way or the other. Perhaps with the Emperor here showing control, there is something that you may feel guilty about that you're not doing, perhaps, that is halting your speed. Seeing speed with the prayer is really showing me, pile number 3, that you have a wish. There's something that you're praying for, something that you would love to reach out and get. And it requires you to go after it. And so taking a look at the yin energy, which is all about the subconscious mind and the underworld, I see there needs to be change on the inside that will greatly affect the outside. So how can you view your situation differently? Here, you are viewing the situation as stressful. Maybe it's not working out as you want. Things are not happening the way you would like them to go. And with teaching, I would say here, your reading is suggesting to teach yourself self-discipline in one area or the other. And that's how you can view the situation differently. Not view it from the perspective of hoping something would come and make your wish come true, but for you to teach yourself to go and get it, to teach yourself to persevere when you don't feel like it. And this is the Emperor energy here. To teach yourself to get up and do it anyway, even when it feels boring, when you feel like you really don't feel like it now, like now is not the time for it. Because the definition for self-discipline is doing what you need to do when you need to do it, whether you feel like it or not. It's that equation. And I feel like with the yin, it's something you may not want to see. It's subconscious. And you may want it in a more comfortable way. I see that. But do realize that this is a muscle. And it may be something that is annoying in the beginning. And that's why you have teaching. It's something that you may, if you choose, want to speak to yourself about. In the beginning, it's just like inertia and speed. It may be really tough to only get up and decide to do it. And so if you decide to get up and do it, and you actually got up and did it, even if you do something very small, pile number 3, congratulate yourself for taking that step, which is the Page of Cups here. Taking little steps in the beginning, and to celebrate and feel pride for taking a small step, because it's these small steps that will help you rise, my dear pile number 3. And so I see an invitation to shift perspective from waiting for it to happen to actually teach yourself to once and for all do what you don't feel like now. Because by time, and I believe it takes around, they say scientifically, from 20 to 21 days to create a new habit. And this is not hearsay, this is really scientific. I mean, even Dr. Caroline Leaf, who is a neuroscientist, confirms this fact. It takes a couple of days or a couple of weeks to get the hang out of a new habit, and then slowly but surely, it becomes part of you. And that's why you need to teach it or train it. Because by time you become that person, it's not painful anymore. It doesn't struck you. The idea doesn't struck you anymore that, oh, I have to do it. No, I don't feel like doing it. It becomes part of who you are. And in fact, with the Page of Cups, you might even start enjoying this new habit. Enjoying you being powerful and achieving what it is that you want for yourself, and not waiting for it to come to you. You go and get it. Here is what I see in your reading, my dear pile number 3. I see that through this shift, you will be able to rise from this situation that could perhaps make you feel a little dead on the inside. And instead, celebrate. The 3 of Cups is all about celebration. Being able to celebrate who you've become and celebrate the opportunities that you are creating in your life, and to celebrate actually reaching what you want exactly, pile number 3. Now that we've had a good look at how to view your situation differently, let me pick out your tarot cards and make this process easier for you. Let's get advice from Spirit on how you can go about this process easily and smoothly, as much as possible, where the advice is tailored specifically to you, pile number 3. So what can pile number 3 do, please, in order to shift their perspective and to handle it on their own, to claim their power? What can they do that will work for them? Whoa, okay. So you have the Wheel of Fortune. Wow. There's a promise here that you change that and you will get your dreams come true. Pile number 3. You will make it happen. Let me put it here first, and then any other cards we get, we'll lay them there. So you have the Wheel of Fortune. So first step, understand that there is a promise here that you will transform your situation. You will get what you want. Perhaps it's fortune, or perhaps it's anything else. Do you see how someone is changing who they are, changing their situation? All right. You have the Moon. You know, I suddenly heard now, if you want it, come and get it. Na, 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 na. So that's the type of energy that I'm seeing, because it suddenly hit my ear. You have the Page of Pentacles. And I'm taking one more card. What is it? you have the Three of Swords. Yes, which is falling right under teachings. And the Emperor, of course. So sometimes the Three of Swords explains how we inflict pain onto ourselves. Do you see how this desert is open and vast, yet this person is confining themselves into a door thinking that it's closed when really it's not. There's light coming up from the heavens. There's great opportunities. There's a lot of pain and crying as well. And I see that the situation can totally shift by changing your perspective on not waiting for it to come, and that there is no closed door, that the opportunity is vast, wide, and open, and it's waiting for you to go and get it. If you want to go and get it, na 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 na, na 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 na. And with this, you have the Page of Pentacles. You have 2 pages. There's a new beginning, fresh energy of you taking hold of the situation and being excited about it and starting it for yourself. And so we see here with the Moon card, again, this is subconscious, but the Moon card is also all about facing your fears, doing something about it, facing something that would be unthinkable to you, to actually go and get it. And you have, I just noticed, you have the Garnet, which is all about confidence, personal power, pursuing your goals, going after it. And so, and it looks like this beautiful pink moon, doesn't it? How sweet. So it's all about really making one decision and sticking to it. Because I see that this decision will put you in the path of getting exactly what you want. In fact, you'll feel early on very proud of yourself. And you will feel like you are actually building it in front of your eyes with the Page of Pentacles. You will see results, little results that will make you so proud of yourself. You'll be celebrating every milestone, and you will watch yourself with the same eyes that you cried with are going to be the very same eyes that you will use to see your dream coming true, my dear pile number 3. And this is exactly what I see in your very beloved reading here. And pile number 3, I'm wishing you all the best of luck from my heart. And in fact, I do have a productivity book. You might be interested in it. And I always say it's small, straight to the point. You won't be procrastinating on reading it. But it has all the key advice and secrets to becoming a productive person right away, all while enjoying the process. And so if you're interested in that, you'll find a link to this ebook down in the description box. And my dear beautiful pile number 3, you have all the power in the world to make your dream come true. So as your card suggests, go after it and go get it for yourself. I'm wishing you all the best of luck from my heart. And pile number 3, this was your reading. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Don't forget to click on your notification bell. And I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye.